My name is Dana Arnone. Believe it or not, I once dreamed of a career in fashion journalism, but life had other plans. I became a registered nurse and eventually the owner of a home health care agency in Long Island, New York. Now, I'll be honest, some days are hectic and sometimes I just want to scream, but my mission and my passion is what keeps me going, helping seniors navigate the chaos of aging in today's world. Every day I see the challenges our seniors face, and it drives me to fight for change, because no one deserves to face the end of life alone. After all, sooner or later, we will all be seniors. So come join me on this journey where we tackle the tough questions, uncover the truth, and fight for the dignity, fairness, and justice for our aging community. Welcome to Senior Care Matters. Charles J. Fuschillo, Jr. has made serving, helping, and empowering others a focus of his professional and personal life. Fuschillo has served as President and Chief Executive Officer of the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, also known as AFA, since 2014. Under his leadership, AFA has seen tremendous growth in its programs, services, membership, revenue, and presence across the nation, while regularly earning Charities Navigator's highest rating of 4 stars in recognition of his commitment to fiscal responsibility, transparency, and accountability. Prior to joining AFA, Fuschillo served as a member of the New York State Senate for nearly 16 years, authoring more than 200 state laws, including ones to protect individuals with cognitive conditions. He has authored New York State's landmark Autism Insurance Reform Law, which enables individuals with autism spectrum disorders to receive insurance coverage for the screening, diagnoses, and treatments of autism spectrum disorders, including behavioral health treatments, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. As a member of the Senate's Health Committee, Fuschillo worked to connect his more than 300,000 constituents with health services by regularly holding free no out-of-pocket cost breast cancer, prostate cancer, and skin cancer screenings throughout his Senate district. In recognition of his lifetime of community service, Fuschillo has been recognized with numerous honors and was also awarded an honorary doctorate of humane letters from the State University of New York and is a member of the Adelphi University Board of Trustees. We are at the Alzheimer's Foundation of America. So Chuck, thank you so much for inviting us into your new home here. So let's just talk a little bit about the foundation, how it got started. You know, your role is, you're the...
I am the president and CEO.
Okay.
The foundation was founded more than 23 years ago by a caregiver, Mr. Bert Brodsky, who lives in New York on Long Island. Back in the 80s and 90s, he was caring for his mom. And at that time, there was really no place to turn to for any guidance, counseling, or support. Bert, always says he would walk out of one room, come back into the other room. His mother would start yelling at him, "Where haven't you been? Oh. I haven't seen you in weeks or months or hours." He would yell back at her because he didn't know really what was going on. When she passed away, he was very concerned about others going through this journey. And he founded AFA to ensure that nobody would go on this journey alone. Mm-hmm. And we're very proud of his vision.
His mom was officially diagnosed so he knew that that's what was going on later, or after she passed away?
After she really passed away. I mean, obviously they knew she had Alzheimer's disease, but how to care for somebody with it is really what he didn't learn because there were no services available. So when Bert founded AFA, his vision is we're a national organization with member offices throughout the entire country. His vision was to ensure that there was support services, educational services, and that we do fund research. And that's the hope. We give millions of Americans that are diagnosed with this disease that one day there will be a cure.
So let's talk a little bit about your role. So as president of AFA, your role is what?
So the overall management of the entire company. And since I've been on, we've grown significantly. Yeah. We had less than 20 employees. We're approaching 60 employees. The national office is in New York City. It's in Manhattan. Where we are today is our newest edition. This is the AFA.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. The AFA Barbara Rabinowitz and Education and Resource Center. And we provide daily programs for individuals with Alzheimer's disease. Right here on Long Island, where we're taping, there are more than 60,000 people that we know of that have this disease. So the services are so critically important.
So, being a nurse in home care, I could tell you, we deal with it all the time ourselves, and the families are always going. It's very difficult for them to be dealing with, the disease process, the aging process of their loved one, and also having to work outside of the home and trying to balance everything. So, having a resource center like this is very helpful. I know that I just want to talk a little bit about the differences of the different organizations, because I know for myself, I sometimes get confused as the difference. So, there's more than just one Alzheimer's. Well, you're the foundation,
right? So we're one of a few national organizations that provide support services throughout the country. Our main focus is supporting the caregiver, also providing education and funding research. But the primary focus is from our founder, who was a caregiver. We want to ensure that caregivers know what to do, that they realize that they can't go on this journey alone, and they have the support team of AFA.
So the caregivers, not only your family members, but a lot of times it's the hired people in the home too. So
Absolutely.
Do you do education with them as well? Because I know, like, from our side, when we're having home health aides go in, even though they know that the person has Alzheimer's, dementia, the behaviors of that person still becomes difficult to manage.
Absolutely.
And I know that that's some of the things we try to really help support our home care workers in, because they are the ones generally with the patient during the day while the family is at work or living someplace else. So what kind of support systems, or is there some support system for not only the family caretaker, but the hired person?
So we have an education and social services division, and Jennifer Reeder is our senior director. She's a professional and expert in this field, and we train professionals and we train non-professionals as well throughout the entire country. Education is empowerment. It gives individuals strength to know what to deal with. Look, Dana, you know this better than anybody. Everybody's different that is diagnosed with this disease. So we ensure that care partners have the proper training. We ensure that professionals in the healthcare industry also have the proper training as well.
Yeah, it's so important. We really do focus on that. We were talking before, and one of the programs that really offers support services for people with cognitive impairment is the nursing home waiver program, which is one of the bigger funder sources for people to receive care, mostly because they provide supervision and observation, which is what a dementia patient primarily needs. Not so much they may not have all those physical problems, toileting and all that normal adult, ADLs, but I think that training of the home care workers just as equally as important.
It's critically important because, this is an evolving field where Alzheimer's disease and how individuals who are diagnosed react to it. But we even take it a step further. We train law enforcement officials throughout the entire country, first responders. We want to make sure that they know what to do when they go into a home. And you can't just obviously grab somebody if they're in an agitated or hallucinating state.
Correct,
We've trained American Express customer service operators
so
how to deal on the phone. Retail workers, law enforcement officials. So it's important that society as a general knows more about Alzheimer's disease and how to treat and how to accept somebody with this disease.
So when you say that you offer education, what kind of what does that look like as education? Because I know there's a hotline.
So we're approved in all 50 states to provide continuing education to licensed social workers. We do that in person, we do that online as well. We have an online learning management system that individuals can go to the academy and enter any programs they want and learn more about this disease. We do in-person training to hospitals, nurses, therapists throughout the entire country. Again, this is empowerment. This is so critically important that as the society changes and more people are diagnosed with this disease, that individuals are better trained.
So I know one of the things that you do here, I'm not sure if it's in all the places, but you do a screening process. So if someone has some questions about their mother, their father, themselves, their husband, and they think that maybe they're starting the disease process, they can come here and get a screening?
They can, but before that, we always like to say the gateway to all of the services at AFA starts with our helpline, and you just mentioned that. Our helpline is open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's staffed by only licensed social workers that are dementia specifically trained. So we get thousands of calls on an annual basis. Monday through Friday, it's open 7 days a week. And it's, their training is ever evolving as well. And in the absence of that, when it's closed at 9 p.m., we've created our own avatar. Her name is Allison, and she's through our website. And Allison is our form of AI. She's our virtual helpline assistant. You could ask her any question you want. And if she can't answer a question, a helpline ticket will pop up. You just fill it out, and it goes to one of our social workers. So we want to make sure that we're there for individuals 24 hours hours a day. Now, right here at the center and in New York City in our national office, but throughout the entire country, because we have sites all over the place, individuals can obtain a free memory screening. I like to call it a checkup from the neck up.
Okay.
And it's it takes 15 minutes of your time. It's a series of questions to test your memory, your thinking, and your language skills. You get a baseline score. Like anything else we do on an annual basis with our primary care physician, you get a baseline score for your blood pressure and everything else. This is the same thing. If you score above the baseline, we tell you, do it in another year. If you score below it, we'll make certain other recommendations as well.
Very interesting. So I just want to go back to because I don't know if you guys ever track this, or on the hotline, what would you say the most common question people are calling about?
First of all, their own memory, or they're concerned about a loved
They're
one.
calling this the person calling.
A lot of people call for themselves to a helpline, but also for the one they're living with, they're caring for, whether it's a relative or a friend. They'll say, "I notice a change. Could you tell me what's going on, or can you help me?"
So that would be the most common.
That's the start. We always like to say, if you're concerned about your own memory or your loved one or a friend, the first thing you need to do is pick up that phone and start asking questions and seek help.
Yeah.
Don't be in denial, because Alzheimer's disease, there's a misconception that this is a normal part of aging. It's not. Before we started this show, I talked to you about, somebody that's a care partner who's very close to AFA. I'll give you her first name is Katie. When she was 29, her husband was 29. And at 29, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Now think about this, what she went through. Her son was 4 years old. A month later, her mother died. A month later, her father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Talk about a lot on your plate. The husband died at 34 years old. 10 years later, the father is still alive. But this takes away that conception that this is only an older person's disease, and it's not.
Yeah. So for the younger people, so let's talk about the building here, though, because I'm very interested, because it's absolutely beautiful. You guys just did major renovations.
Yes.
So people can come here. There's a social part, so they have, recreational therapists doing.
So every day we have daily programs here, to stimulate cognitive and have socialization as well. Music therapy, pet therapy, dance therapy. We have art programs here, bingo programs. Yeah. The center also offers more than that. We're developing an educational transportation room. Love to show you that.
Yeah, we're going to go see. Yeah.
Because we have seats that were from the Long Island Railroad and seats from the airport,
so
from
smart.
inside the airplane. We want to encourage people to keep the quality of life going for the one you're caring for. Have them come here. They'll learn about traveling with somebody with a cognitive impairment. We'll put them in a seat on a railroad. We'll put them in a seat from an airplane. Make them feel comfortable. We're also going to be offering free memory screenings here now, which we do at the center. In the back, we are building a sensory garden. We're already also building a library resource room. And on the second floor, we're building a dementia-friendly residence as well.
Yeah, we had talked about that. But again, I would say the home care workers should be involved, as like the families should bring them. Yeah.
And they do come here with the ones they're caring for every single day. And it gives them an opportunity to have a break as well and take a time out. For the home care workers and the care partners, it's critically important that they take care of themselves as well to avoid burnout.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so the home care workers, the aides can come here if they're coming. They do come with them.
They come every day with the one they're caring for.
Okay.
They come out of the house. As you can see, it's a very safe zone here.
Yes, very nice.
It's a comfortable setting. And we encourage more people to keep coming on a daily basis.
And as far as the costs related to it?
So we don't charge for our programs. I wanted to ensure that economics is not a barrier for seeking help. We just want to make sure that individuals with a cognitive impairment, even older individuals, seniors come here all the time, that they have a place to go to every single day and interact with other people. Because as you know, socialization is so critically important for all of us.
Everybody,
We have to keep our brains exercised all the time.
Right. So, and also the family can, kind of drop off their loved one and have some errand time or some personal time to go do something.
And that's critically important too, because the families need a break as well.
Yeah.
So it could give them an opportunity to go do some errands, or they could come here to another room and just relax. They can go into the back, into the gazebo, into the gardens, and just chill out. And that's really important.
And there's always somebody here, I'm supposing, that they can talk to as well.
All the time.
Yeah, so smart. So let's just talk about also the the disease of Alzheimer's itself? Do you find that it's becoming more prevalent? Do you think that people are getting, you said before, getting diagnosed earlier, but is there any changes in the way that the medications are handling things, or early diagnosis and medicating someone is the way to go? Like, what is the...
So there's a greater awareness of the disease, and that's really a focus of AFA. While we're providing the support services to care partners, we're also educating individuals throughout the nation. So there's a greater awareness of it. You know, every month we have a Alzheimer's and Caregiving Conference throughout the country. It's part of an initiative we started 8 years ago called Educating America Tour. We travel every month to a different city and a different state, and we hold these conferences, and they're all free as well. So people are becoming, have a greater awareness of the disease, hopefully a greater awareness of their own health and lifestyle as well, because lifestyle does play a risk factor in somebody who can get this disease. You know, your environment, abnormalities in your brain, you know, with the tau and the amyloid plaque, all risk factors. So we want to encourage healthy lifestyles. There's more than 7 million people in this country that are diagnosed with this disease. In the last couple of years, there have been new advancements, new therapies that slow down the progression of the disease. With a combination of that, we're always optimistic, but for us here at AFA, it's the finish line. Find a cure for this disease. We do fun research all over the world as well.
Yeah, I saw that on your website, yeah. I think that's important too, that people, you know, it's not just about, you know, handling the disease now, but you're looking towards a cure. And you're looking really for, because when we were looking about different medications and different options that people have, so do they find that if they're medicated or if they need to be on medicine earlier in the stages that the prognosis is better for them?
Most of the new therapies are for early onset. Right, exactly, okay. Great point.
What would you say early onset is, though? Because I'm curious.
Somebody's recently diagnosed.
Right, but like if they were doing that screening test, because I know, like being an old nurse, and you know, we used to do what's called the mini mental on everybody. Right. I would fail myself.
Way,
is the same thing?
It's still being used.
Is that the screening process though? Oh, I'd fail.
So when somebody goes through a screening, depending on what it is, it could be a different test. There's the mini cog. There's so many different, the mini mental. If they score below the baseline, we'll talk to them about, you know, what's going on in your life right now, and maybe retake the test at a different time. But also go back and see your primary care physician.
Oh, that's who you refer them back to, their primary?
We do, and then maybe to a neurologist that the primary care physician do. But there's things that aren't Alzheimer's disease, and everybody who, like, if you forget something, if you lose your wallet or your keys,
like your name,
the first thing somebody says, oh, I have Alzheimer's disease. But memory loss could be attributed to alcoholism, depression, a thyroid issue, sleep apnea. All are treatable, if not correctable, but you won't know unless you go and talk to your primary care physician.
Would you say that's your number one advice to families and to individuals, is to, you know, start, if you see you're forgetting your keys, or you forgot, you know, you just had the conversation before that you had with your child, or walking back in the room and saying, hey, what are you doing here?
Look, if you forget your keys and you find them, you know what they're for, you're okay, Dave. You're all right.
I lose them way too much.
But the first step should be one or two things. Talk to your primary care physician, or pick up the phone and call the AFA helpline. It's a toll-free number. It's 866-232-8484. Get the advice of a licensed social worker that's specifically trained in dementia care.
Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, the people that are in the health field, we think it's just a matter of fact. Like, and so I'm always surprised when someone calls up and they're at the end stage of something, and I used to be like, you didn't see this coming on? Like, maybe because we're in the field and we see it, so we get, you know, immune to it. But I think that's the most important takeaway for people, is that there are screening processes. There are things that you can do if you're feeling that this is happening in your loved one, or they can call the hotline and really get some good direction.
Absolutely. But a lot of people are also in denial about themselves or their loved ones. And look, if you're caring for somebody, and we see it so often, married 40, 50, 60 years, they're going to be very protective of their loved one. So they're going to be in denial and say, oh, he or she is just getting older.
I don't know. I say that to my husband every day. When I really want to make him mad, that's what I say.
They're going to be protective of their loved one. There's still a stigma attached to this disease, that people are embarrassed that there are life changes in somebody. And by the way, when you're diagnosed with this disease, it changes your life. It changes your friends' behavior towards you as well. We always encourage a caregiving team. You can't do this alone. Family members and friends have to be part of that team as well. And that's why AFA is part of the team.
It's time for a short break. We'll be right back with more Senior Care Matters after this.
Body by Peter offers a premier at-home concierge service specializing in empathetic lymphatic massage and blood circulation enhancement. We provide a range of therapies, including red light therapy, wood therapy, body sculpting, and lymphatic detoxification. Our professional and compassionate approach ensures a rejuvenating experience in the comfort of clients' homes. Servicing Manhattan, Queens, and Long Island, New York. Call today, 516-509-3825. At Reliance Home Senior Services, we believe every day shines brighter at home. As a licensed New York State-based agency owned and operated by a registered nurse, Reliance brings over 20 years of experience and personalized care right to your door. Our certified personal care and home health aides assist with bathing, grooming, dressing, medication reminders, light exercise routines, and to accompany you to appointments, all while offering companionship and a safe, caring presence. Need help navigating Medicaid? We're here for you. Our team of registered nurses and social workers offers in-home geriatric management, so both you and your family can breathe easier. And with 24/7 on-call support, bonded and insured aides, and a custom plan of care crafted just for you, we bring peace of mind right into your living room. Reliance Home Senior Services, bringing comfort, independence, and trust home. We all say, today is the day that we tackle the organization of our homes. The day gets further and further away, but the job never gets smaller. We can take the headache out of planning and doing. We start with a free consultation, create an action plan, and bring you the space and peace of mind you need. We help with home decluttering and organization. Restore your home to a place of comfort. Call today, 516-322-2613. Every day, home health aides travel miles across our city to care for seniors who depend on them. But too often, long commutes and poor transportation keep them from reaching those who need them most. At All Things Home Care, we're changing that. By providing subsidized rides, we take the burden off caregivers so they can focus on care, not the commute. Because when caregivers are treated with dignity and respect, our seniors stay safe, cared for, and never alone. Join us in supporting the people who care for our loved ones. Learn more at allthingshomecare.org.
Welcome back to Senior Care Matters. So, Chuck, let's talk about your past, being in the New York State Senate. So tell me about those years. And I know you were saying that you ran the Health Committee, or you were the chair.
So I was on the Health Committee, but I chaired the Senate Transportation Committee. An incredible privilege and honor. I served for nearly 16 years. But you have the ability to make positive changes in people's lives here in the state of New York as a member of the legislature. And we did, and we had great committees, great support. And on my introduction, you talked about an autism law that I had written here in New York State. That came from meeting one of my neighbors, Mike Giangorio, and his wife Allison, who was at the time, their son Nick was very young. And they were talking about the financial commitment, the obligation, and the burden financially to provide the proper care and what they had to do in their home. My immediate reaction to him was, well, submit it for reimbursement to the insurance company. He said the insurance company doesn't reimburse for the care.
Okay.
That's why I went and worked with Allison and Mike Giangorio to write the insurance reimbursement law. So things like that can have a positively effectuate change on people's lives. You know, Alzheimer's disease is in the top 10 causes of death, the only one really without a cure. So it's critically important that the federal government continues to support funding to find a cure for this disease.
Yeah, this morning, I don't remember when I was watching, but they were talking about, I think what they're saying is there's the new diabetes type 3.
Right.
So I guess that's a lot of money is going into the research to see if that...
Absolutely, but whether it's diabetes or cancer or Parkinson's disease, MS, whatever it is, federal government has to ensure that there's enough funding for new therapies or to find a cure to these diseases.
And for the care of the person,
right.
you know, so...
And, you know, they can't play politics with this disease because it affects everybody. But we're so proud that it is a bipartisan commission. Both Republicans and Democrats get together and really know that they're united to support more funding and more laws in this country.
Yeah, they should definitely put more funding into, you know, my mind always goes to the care of the person in the home. You know, there's not a lot of services. There's a lot of times that individuals, we were talking before about, they fall through the gap because they have Alzheimer's, but they don't have a lot of physical problems. And they don't, if they're on community Medicaid, they don't get the same amount of hours as somebody who, you know, needs physical care, toileting, dressing.
Well, that's exactly why AFA was founded, to fill the gap in that hole, in that vacuum of services that government's not providing. That's why we're here, and other organizations as well.
So, Chuck, I really am interested in seeing the building, showing all the different rooms and what they're set up to do, and just show people how how beautiful it is, but also how it's really a place that they can come for resources. And we're going to take a look at that train chair and the airplane chair, because it's so smart. You know, we transport people back and forth a lot of times from Florida to New York. So I'm eager to see how we can do our training with our workers when they're, you know, taking these individuals back to their homes on the plane. I never would have thought that that would have been a thing, but it makes sense.
Terrific.
Yeah,
let's go for a tour.
Yeah, let's go for a tour. So, Chuck, we're here in what used to be the Nuns' Chapel. Yeah. It's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about
this was a convent for the Sisters of St. Dominic's. When we had purchased it, it was vacant. They moved across the street to the Queen of Rosary. This is what we call the chapel room. This is an all-purpose room where we hold daily therapeutic programs, music therapy, as you can see here, art therapy, dance therapy, pet therapy, anything that stimulates individuals with a cognitive impairment.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. The ceilings, everything is very, very nice. So we're going to go take a walk into one of the other rooms that you have.
So this is another all-purpose room. This used to be the dining area for the sisters. What we do is hold educational programs here and daily therapeutic programs as well. And as you can see, we have TVs that allow us to put music on here. But if we're holding an educational program, we can put PowerPoints and instructional materials.
Okay, very nice. Okay, and there's a room over here. Is that for the families if they want?
So this is a support group room and an intake room. When families come here, we'll sit down and we'll talk to them about, you know, what daily life is like with somebody that they're caring for. We want to make sure that we have programs that are tailored to the specific needs of every individual that comes here.
Yeah, no, very nice.
So what we're building here is what's called our education and transportation room. As you can see, we have seats from the airlines, and on this side we have seats from the Long Island Railroad. We're going to educate families, Dana, on how to travel with somebody with a cognitive impairment. And what we want to do is when a family comes here with somebody that they want to travel with, we want to ensure that, you know, they feel comfortable if they're getting on a plane. You know, you had talked about home health care workers that do travel with individuals, but we want to actually get them into a seat and make them feel comfortable and explain to them, and we're going to be showing an educational training film, but we want them to feel comfortable even before they get on the plane.
So Chuck, thank you so much for the tour and really a lot of the information that I think is so important to help families out and, you know, that might be, you know, thinking about this or struggling with some things. And I think that the information that you gave was unbelievably helpful, especially for me. Tell me a little bit now, November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, so what's going on?
Yeah, we're very proud to look. Our Alzheimer's awareness color is teal. So on November 3rd, we have more than 1,500 landmarks across the world that will be lighting up in teal to create Alzheimer's awareness and a discussion about this disease. But here at the center, we encourage people to come here, and if anybody needs help, they can call our helpline, which is 866-232-8484.
This is Senior Care Matters, and I'm Dana Arnone, and we'll see you next time.